Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here in Sintra, Portugal, and we're here at a marvelous property, the Tivoli Palácio de Seteais, and I'm here with the general manager, Alexandre Maia de Carvalho, and we're going to talk about this amazing palace in Sintra, and this is Insider Travel Report. Now, Alexander, we got here yesterday, and it is just absolutely fabulous, this palace. Talk a little bit about the history of this palace, when it began, and actually when it became a hotel.
This palace was built 200 years ago. It was originally the home of the Dutch consul here in Lisbon and in Portugal. And Sintra has been historically a place where all the royal families from Europe come and have their hideaways. So it's very usual here in Sintra to having a normal day of operation at the hotel, and you have a queen from an European country that comes in your door to have tea or to have lunch or to relax at the pool. And the Seteais Palace is one of those 10, 12 properties, very special properties that we have in the Sintra Mountains.
Yeah, well, in fact, you have in your opening reception area, which is another beautiful room, you have a letter from the Netherlands king and queen who came here, which is appropriate since it used to belong to someone from the Netherlands, right?
Exactly. We are very lucky to have every year very special visitors from all those countries and that come here and enjoy this magnificent property.
Now, tell me a little bit about when did it actually become a hotel?
The property became a hotel around 40 years ago with a Portuguese hotel-related family that bought this property from the Portuguese government. It was abandoned and it was restored and turned into a hotel. They had to keep all the initial paintings, the rooms. They couldn't break anything. So what you see now is how it was like 200 years ago. And we are very keen and very focused on maintaining the property as it was originally so we can transmit its history to our visitors.
Well, and that's the special part of this place. Now, talk about the accommodations if you could. I know there are about 30 rooms, right?
Yes, we have 30 rooms, only one suite. Because as I was mentioning before, we can't break rooms to make bigger rooms or larger rooms. We would love to have more suites for our guests, but we have 39 rooms divided in superior and deluxe categories, mainly because of the views, because you can have valley and sea view, and you can have mountain view over the palaces, and we have the suite with a garden view.
Yeah, well, the views are amazing, and we're sitting in this wonderful, I don't know what you call this, a ballroom? What is this?
This is the ballroom. Yeah. This was originally the ballroom for the hotel where the Gildemeister consul gave his parties, hosted his parties to all his guests from the Sintra region.
And from this view, you can't see it from here, but right out the window, we can see an extraordinary view of the valley below, right?
Exactly. The property has 50,000 square meters gardens, so it's huge, and we have views down to Colares, that is a very specific, very small wine country where the grapes actually grow on sand. So it makes a unique variety of white wine that is produced down here in Colares.
Well, we'll definitely have to try that a little later. Now, talk a little bit about the dining and the bar options here, because we had a lovely dinner last night, amazing, in down one floor below, and it was very Portuguese. It was a very we actually had the national specialty, the cod, which was very good. So if you could tell me a little bit about that.
We try to maintain historical recipes from the palace that goes on hand by hand through the chefs throughout the generations, and we try to maintain those classic palace recipes and also to bring in the products from the region, the wines, the cheese, the fresh fish, because we are 5 kilometers away from the Praia Grande beach, so we try to bring all this into the hotel, but in a very classic Portuguese style of prep.
And then the bar is marvelous too. You have a marvelous barman and then you can have drinks on the terrace outside, right?
Exactly. You can have drinks outside on the terrace, just relaxing, reading your book. You can have drinks inside also. We have an IT every afternoon at 4 o'clock where you can have a classical tea experience in a palace, even if you're not staying with us at the Palácio de Seteais.
And then beyond that, you mentioned earlier the pool. There is actually a pool here and a couple of tennis courts, and then, of course, a spa, right?
Yes. We do have a spa with 3 treatment rooms. It belongs to a brand of the minor hotel group that is Anantara. Anantara is the high-end luxury spa properties from the group. They were born in Thailand. So we were able to bring that Thai spa culture here to Sintra and Portugal, which is very important for us and allows us to differentiate us from our competitive set. Also, the pool during the summer period is in high demand because you can stay here and enjoy the palace visits around Sintra during the day and come back to your hotel and enjoy the pool till the end of the day and then have dinner with us. You also have a tennis option that is very popular also with our guests. Tennis being a classical sport, we think it fits properly with the property.
And you mentioned after a day in Sintra, and because this is not the only palace in Sintra, talk a little bit about what there is to do and all the different things to see in Sintra, if you could, from this property.
Sintra is a very historical destination. You have the Pena Palace, you have the Regaleira Palace, which is just next door from our property. You have the Montserrat Palace, you have the palace in the center of the city, and you have all those paths that go along the hill that are also very magical and very special. You have a very big variety of trees, of nature that you can only see in Sintra. You have a species of eagle that only lives in Sintra. So I think it's a magical place because all the history and the nature combines in this unique destination that is Sintra.
Well, we've seen lots of people hiking and all around, and as I said, yours is not the only palace, and if you want to see palaces, this is the place, and it does go from the Pena Palace, which is the very famous one high up on the hill, to palaces adjacent to you. Yes. And it's a really marvelous time, and I hope we're going to get some chance to see that as well. Is there anything else you want to tell? We go out to about 90,000 travel advisors in the U.S. about how to best experience this property, or how they can tell their clients to experience this the best way?
Of course. Sintra, I think you could think of coming here for 4 or 5 days. Then you could do 2 days of the palaces in Sintra, just visiting and mingling around Sintra population. Then you can do a day trip to Lisbon. Also, Lisbon is in very high demand, and it's very
not too far. It's about, we thought it was like 30, 40 minutes, right?
Yes, it's around 30 minutes to go to Lisbon, so you can do a day trip to Lisbon. And then the 2 or 3 days, remaining days, you can have a wine tour around the Collares winery, which is very unique, very special. The white wines are amazing. So you can go there and you can enjoy the beach, also take some surfing classes just 3 kilometers away from the hotel. So it makes a very complete and very special week if you stay with us.
It sounds wonderful. And the last thing I want to talk about is how quiet it is, how serene it is at this palace. It seems really, it's a nice place to get away. If you've done all those activities and you come back here, you can certainly relax here, right?
It is. Seteais, we nurture the palace for it to be a sanctuary. We want people to come here and relax and enjoy the destination, enjoy the property, and relax, because all of our lives outside from here are very busy. You're on back-to-back meetings all day, and when you come here, this has to be a sanctuary of peace and relaxation.
Well, it certainly has been for us, and thank you very much for your hospitality. And we have one more night here, and then we're off to another Tivoli property, but this is a very special place. I really think if you get a chance to send your clients here, it's amazing. And I butchered the Portuguese on this one. It's called the Tivoli Palácio de Seteais, right?
Right.
And it's wonderful, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, James. It was a pleasure to have you here.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.